Now in the UK we're quite snobbish when it comes to style, and we're far more likely to buy something that's European rather than Japanese if we want to make a statement. Bang & Olufsen over Sony, Rolex over Seiko and Mercedes over Lexus. But in America they've got a completely different view of things, because Lexus not only outsells Mercedes and BMW, but it does all that while still maintaining the image of a luxury brand. Now inside the RX300 you'd be forgiven if you thought you were driving a hearse, because black is the theme here. We've got a black dashboard, black door panels, black door inserts and black seats, but we are saved with the quite classy aluminium inserts on the centre console and around the electric mirror and window switches. Now the dashboard itself, whilst not being the last word in style, it is extremely well laid out. All the instruments are very clear, very easy to read, and the switch gear is everything you'd expect from a luxury car. But the only niggle I've got really is the indicator stalks. They look like they come straight out of the Toyota Yaris parts bin. On the outside there's no getting away from the fact that this Lexus is big. Not only is it long, but it's also very tall on those 16-inch wheels and tyres. And as far as the looks go, well, I don't think we'll be winning any beauty pageants, but to criticise it for that would miss the point. I mean, if you want to sell lingerie, you don't get WWF wrestlers to model it for you, unless you're into that sort of thing. If you want glamour, buy a sports car. Now, ever since Lexus launched the first car, the LS400, they've had a reputation for producing very quiet vehicles, and this, the RX300, is no exception. There's almost zero traffic noise around town, and it's only when you get out onto the motorway and the wind starts buffeting these fairly big wing mirrors that you get any noise intrusion. But if it gets too bad, just turn up the fantastic stereo system. Although the RX300's no slouch, performance is brisk rather than frantic. The 6-cylinder 3-litre unit pumps out 280 brake horsepower, enough to propel the car from 0 to 60 in a little over 9 seconds, and onto a top speed of 112 miles an hour. Hurrying the car along hurts the fuel consumption though, and you'll be lucky to see over 22 miles to the gallon. Now with full-time 4-wheel drive and a reasonably stiff suspension, the RX300 is very smooth on the bends. Potholes, drain covers, they make very little difference to the composure, and it's only when you get onto some of the sharper corners that you notice a little bit of body roll. And that lets you know that although you're driving a luxury vehicle, it's not a saloon car. Now another great reputation Lexus have is giving you shed loads of kit in your standard car. And at 29 grand, your RX300 is going to have driver passenger airbags, electric mirrors, windows, air conditioning, alloy wheels and a CD player. Now if you want to pay a little bit more, go for the SE model, that's the one we're driving today, and it'll set you back 32.5 grand. You also get cruise control, electric sunroof and the lovely heated leather electric seats. Now whilst Lexus may have spent the last 3 years fine-tuning the RX300 for Europe, the competition haven't been standing still. In fact, the very popular Mercedes ML leads the sales figures in this sector, and BMW have just launched a 3-litre version of their brilliant X5. However, with the 3-litre X5 costing around 33 grand and Mercedes ML weighing in at just over 30 grand, the RX300 looks a good buy, especially when you consider the levels of equipment the car boasts over its rivals. Now whilst it may be a while in the UK before Lexus has the badge recognition of BMW and Mercedes, that is about all they're lacking, because on all-round ability, specification and price, they've got a lot to have the Germans quaking in their lederhosen.